Amanda.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today, to My Hero Academia, Season 7, Episodes 3, 4, and 5. Last episode, Star died. We have time, though. We have a little bit of...
She gave us that time.
She gave us that time, and...
An extension, I think, was the wordage.
I think you're right, and I think All Might was a little bit caught off guard and surprised to be reminded of how much the kids of Class 1A have grown, and how they are doubled down in their desire to try to help.
In terms of what these kids have witnessed, been through, the determination they now feel, what they're willing to put their own bodies and lives through, it almost feels weird to think of them as the ages that they actually are.
Yeah. I want to see Bakugo use Cluster. I'm assuming it's like what we saw last season when he jumped in front of Deku, but I still want to see it.
And he's excited to show it to you.
Yes.
So perfect.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Sweet.
緊急来日したアメリカナンバーワンヒーロースター&ストライプ紙一重の差で敗北を喫してしまう。しかしスターは
Narrowly defeated.
命の残り火を燃やし死柄木の個性に甚大なダメージを与えていたことが判明する。
スター&ストライプが残してくれた最後の猶予だ。君たち自身と君たちが守りたいものを守るために
Chaka's hair looks like her mother's.
Using the word extension to a group of like school students.
Yeah.
But we're talking about battles of life and death gravity. It's not a test.
How sad is it that Best Genius was never able to talk to Star about the denim of America?
There's particular parts of this opening in terms of creativity of visuals that I just feel myself going, oh, when it shows up on screen.
God, look at Spinner's reaction. The quirk that All For One just used on that's so similar to Uraraka's quirk. Damn.
Consciousnesses are combining. Start the season off with him believing they've cleared their greatest obstacle.
Damn.
僕という人間は一つのゴールに対していくつものルートをあらかじめ作る。密にはいざという時に使えるルートを何年も何十年も前から作っておき、最良の道筋を取捨選択してゴールに結びつけるのさ。緑や伊豆は堅固な遊泳に戻ってしまったが、僕は東也君と違って友達が多いんだ。
It's confirmation! Oh my god! Oh my god. How can I just go on watching this after what is happening in my brain now?
I love Ida's suit. Oh shit! That's sick. Damn.
Look at his hair.
Whoa.
左のコントロールも右に追いついたはず。
Good.
ダビの火力に焼かれねえ体を。
Make a body that can withstand
Stand
Dabi's
Dobby's
fire.
fire.
右と左、体は一つ。
Body is one. Makes me think of...
I'm sorry, like, can we go back to Hagakure?
Because he has so many roots.
Yeah, he's been doing it for so long too.
そもそも前回戦った死柄木は不完全な状態だった。
And it was still that tough of a battle.
現状でも五分と言えるかどうか。
リブタを切るタイミングは向こうが握ってる。
Damn.
ラグドールが奪われた。遠方からでも個性を特定できるサーチ。アメリカ戦でその個性が消えたとしても。
If we had search, things would be a lot different.
死柄木たちの動きを誘導できるように、早速僕も捜索に。僕たちだろう。
Good timing.
そうだろう。
The freckles. The
You know who we're
emphasis.
not seeing?
The emphasis
This
on
whole-
we.
And you know who we're not seeing this whole time?
そうだ。それで言うと。
Where is she?
ある程度は。
Well, Aoyama isn't there either. He's who I thought that the traitor was since the Dobby interaction in the forest.
Those were my two choices for traitor.
Showing us Hagakure like that could be
Misleading.
Yeah.
元気がなかった。
Yeah.
それはみんなもそうだったけど。
She could be investigating him, you know?
あの人が再び指示を出してきた。大丈夫。それまで通り傍受されていても民間の日常に取れるよう暗号化してあるわ。緑谷くんが戻ってきてからも君は笑顔を見せなかったから心配で。髪のまでちゃんとオールフォーワンの言う通りにできたじゃない。やらなきゃ私た
His
ちが殺
parents?
されてしまうの。入学間もない頃、うまくあの人の要望に応えたじゃない。
Mm-hmm.
誰にもバレずに居場所を教えられたじゃない。USJ にいきなり現れたヴィラン。林間学校の時も場所を秘密にしてたのにヴィランは来た。まさか。私たちだって一度だって好きでやったことはないわ。けれどもう遅いの。
What does he have over them? I guess just threatening is enough.
そんな嘘でしょ。嘘。青山くんが。青山くんが。
Mm-hmm.
私たちはあなたにただ幸せをつかんでほしかった。
だってみんなと違うのはとても怖いから。
個性を持たず生まれ
Born without a
Oh!
ないようにみんなと一緒に夢を追えるように。
Giving him a quirk in
Wow.
exchange for being a mole.
こうなることが分かっていたならオールフォーワンに個性をもらうなんて。
Wow. What an interesting concept to put in here.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, who can relate to not having a quirk too? Born with Deku.
誰か先生に誰か。
Oh
They've
no.
grown there.
Is she in trouble?
ずっと
What if they sense her?
罪悪感に押しつぶされるから無理やり気丈に振る舞ってたよ。神野でオールフォーワンが捕まった時いやしくも勘違いをしてしまったんだよ。これでみんなと一緒に。
That it was over at that point.
優が許してちょうだい。愚かな私たちを許して。
僕ママとパパを守りたくて知らせたくなくて。
私たちを助けて。優が。
Holy shit.
緑谷くん緑谷くんあの時僕だけ何も言えな
Oh, that's right.
あの時僕だけが。
青山くん、僕は。
やめて。僕の力君には。僕はずっと対等になりたかったのさ。君には。
僕青山くんだけ浮かない顔のままだったから何かあるのかと思って探しに来たんだ。
そう僕だけが。
Of course, Midori is the type to notice that sort of thing.
僕が手引きした緑谷くん。僕はクズのヴィランだ。
僕は東也君と違って友達が多いんだ。
友達ね。それ。
People he's trapped into doing his bidding, basically.
And he has that all across the world.
Mm-hmm.
彼らが成功すれば嬉しい。ダメだったら。
He just has it right.
That's so fucked. That's so
And they're
messed up.
They're thinking it's like life or death.
'Cause
like,
it is to
oh my
them.
god. And he's just like,
Nothing more than disposable tools.
済ませてくれればバンバン
Comparing it to 100 yen lighter is
the pressure
absolutely...
on them in comparison.
きっと藁にもす
Think about
Pinky
Deku's
toe.
mom, you know, watching him being quirkless.
個性を自由に与えてくれる存在。その噂をたどったんだ。もらった個性は体質と合わず大変だったけど、
Ugh.
同調心理から始まった僕の夢は
Desire to conform.
ママンとパパンが僕にしてくれたように。
クラスが孤立するタイミングを教えなさい。合宿先を教えな
Oh
さ
my
い。
みんなのた
god.
めに自分を。
遊泳に戻った緑谷いずくが一人き
So
りに
he's
なるよう
alone.
おびき出しなさい。
Once
あ
he's
の置き手紙で君が僕と
Is
同じ
this a
ことだった
trap?
と知った時、
this was the last thing he was just asked to do.
何もかもにやめろ青い絶望したんだ。デビル。フォーレ
Hagakure!
私の体は光を屈折させる性質がある。みんな死んじゃってもおかしくなかったんだよ。日本中がおかしくなっちゃったんだよ。何考えて教室にいたの？みんなと暮らしていたの？優雅は
Oh my god.
こんなの
You don't have to keep doing it.
やめよう。
Wow. But he can't just return to...
I just hope it's not like a bomb. Okay, good.
まさか生徒だったとは。
The fact that they used my two choices in that one scene.
俺は嘘だって言えよ。
騙されてたんだよな。わざとじゃねえんだよな。
てめえも元無個性だとは世の中狭えな。私たちはただ頼まれたら実行するだけだ。そうした人間が処分される様を。
Holy shit.
出所後に殺された。逃げられなかった。悪いのは私たちだ。
何考えて教室にいたの？
自分が殺していたかもしれない人たちと僕は仲間の顔して笑い合った。笑い合えてしまったんだよ。彼の心配より先に絶望した自分に絶望したんだ。少年が腐ってたんだよ。青山優香根っからのヴィランだったんだよ。じゃあなんで合宿でかっちゃんと徳闇君を助けようとしたんだよ。辛いことと向き合ってるだけじゃきっときらめけないのさ。違うだろ。あれは僕が気づけなかった。
It's like you... Oh, an SOS!
繕いもせずに泣いているのはオール・フォー・ワンの言う通りにできなかったからじゃないだろう。フォー・ワンに心を利用されても全ては明け渡さなかったヒーローを僕は知ってる。心が押しつぶされただけだ。罪を犯したら一生ヴィランだなんてことはないんだ。この手を握ってくれ青山君。そうかテク。君はまだ
Bakugo
ヒー
support.
ローになれるんだから。
事情はどうあれ、オール・フォー・ワンに加担した罪は消えない。それに状況から安全と推測しているだけで、まだナガンのような仕掛けがないと言い切れない。
おそらく後手は必死。だからこそのやけくそ人海戦術なんだよ。
Try to use them to get to him and find him.
手形を死柄木たちの動きを誘導できるように。
Don't let him know that they've been captured.
ただ一人青山さんだけがオール・フォー・ワンを収めることが
Only
でき
one.
るかもしれな
Be
い。
able to trick all for one.
君はまだヒーローになれるんだ。
Ooh.
Do you... Would you have preferred it if they didn't show Hagakure in the intro for the moment in the episode?
Yeah. I think this is just one of those cases. I mean, I can remember my excitement upon seeing it in the intro, and I wouldn't necessarily want to, like, replace that moment, but I feel like I would have had that in the show.
I think that in seeing it in the intro, I was like, we're never gonna get it. It's like just a... Maybe from the animation studio or whatever, just like like, here's an Easter egg, you get to see your face.
But you'd never actually get it in the actual
I didn't know
show.
that it was going to be followed up with actually seeing it.
僕が手引きした。
What they're doing with his voice.
僕は
The metallic aspect of it.
ヴィランだ。
君はまだヒーローになれるんだから。
That's such a good line.
It reminds me of Coda at the end of the muscular fight.
I love the concept that just because you do one bad thing doesn't make you a villain for life. I really love that being something of emphasis, that it really feels like something Midoriya would believe. And I love the idea of giving someone like another chance to like,
Yeah.
because what we've seen from the show is that your circumstance can lead you down a path that you don't necessarily, your heart doesn't want to be on. And to be a hand reached out, that you can leave that path behind.
I agree with you. I think that like that's exactly what Bakugo was calling out, right? It's easy to have, like, it's not easy, but it's one thing to have the ideals and desires and belief that Deku does, but it's much harder to convince other people of your way of thinking. But Deku's like, he set the situation up like in the most perfect way. Why did you help at the camp? Why did you leave the cheese? Like, you're opening that door for evidence that it's not just a villain in front of you. He's acted against villains that he was meant to side with. And then you're like, you give the chance.
The God was a great example of that.
Yeah. I wonder if the bubbles are from Bubble Girl.
なんで
Why would they give you this chance?
They're all waiting to hear what he
どうして
says.
彼らはこんな僕を。
言いたかねえさ。けどな、お前らが一番の被害者だ。
The main
今更
victims,
信
because
じられる
you
のか。
were led to believe you were friends. You were the ones in danger.
それは過去の話でしょ。
Class rep.
だからこそ今泣いて絶望しているクラスメートを友として手を取りたい。それが彼と俺たちが再び対等になれる唯一の方法だからです。
Equals again.
合宿でひでえ目にはあってっからな。バツくらいハウザーぶち込んで飛んだんだね。辛すぎるからやめろ。涙こらえて隠し事してたやつ嫌いになったかよ。
That was hiding something while holding back tears.
余計なお世話はヒーローの本質だって。青山まだ終わってねえんだよ。一緒に踏ん張れるんだよ俺たち。
君たちの気持ちはわかるが、ここは冷
Then
静
don't
に。
lie.
緑谷
Aizawa.
オール・フォー・ワンを誘導すると言っていたが、この責任は見抜けなかった担任の俺にあります。ただ気持ちはこいつらと同じです。
相沢。
青山、俺はまだお前を除籍するつもりはない。一応青山とご両親には話が聞こえないよう配慮を願います。
ああ、わかった。
Wow.
俺が考えた作戦は
Do we not get to hear it?
検証が必要ではある。
Each location will need to be inspected.
性が高い。
彼次第ですが。期限は1週間。
Him being Ayama or All for One?
I love
こ
the
の場にいた
cat
者以外
policeman.
にこのことを決して他言しないように頼む。
青山くん。
Please refrain from discussing this with anyone that wasn't here. The other classes.
Oh, look, Bakugo's slippers.
とりあえず準備だな。
ギリギリまで個性を伸ばさないと。
There's a serious air.
みんな絶対倒そうね。
Damn.
There is a
I
serious
love how
air.
they draw Deku.
次の戦いに備えるために、万全を期すために、直しておかないといけない装備が。
Yeah.
Is it
We need some sense of
gonna
normalcy.
be in his face?
あらま、お久しぶりですね。ドリアン君。何かご用ですか、お二人さん。
One of the best characters.
Danger Sense didn't react.
それはともかく初音くん。
まさか、初音さん。外で起こっていることに何も
She's
It makes sense.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
I love her so much.
Hatsume's locked in.
そうが変わりましたね。
校長肝入りの遊泳バリア、その開発主任を担当しててね、作動後の管理もしている。
Sport class, they've been
サポ
busy.
ートが総動員だよ。
Wow.
海外の試作品でストックが
Ah.
直してもらいたいんだ。
Kinda.
No?
ごめんなさい。
すごく無理っぽい速さで奥に。ハスウェ君、俺のアーマーは。
使用処分なきゃ無理です。
大丈夫、俺らが作るよ。
Okay.
発明のおなくら。
The barrier? Whoa, evacuation.
バリアの強化策に発明も携わってもらった。
Gotcha. Important job.
の新機構を勝手に考えてやがるのさ。こいつのバイタリティと発想は得意だからね。
足を冷却したいなら腕で走ればいいじゃないですか。
Innovative as fuck, man.
満点の出来でも1分後には90点になってしまう。
I 100% think she is one of the best characters in the show.
ハスメさんの言葉だ。
甘いですね、緑谷くん。ポリエチレンのように甘いですよ。
ごめん、わからん。
あなたたちヒーローが窮地に立っていることくらいは存じてます。
Yeah, she at least knows that much.
私たちは戦えません。だからあなたたちがより多くの人間を守れるように試行錯誤するのです。ね、同じなんです。発明がサポート科のヒーロー活動なんです。
Inventing is the support course's hero work.
全く同じものは無理です。
Did we already do it?
ガントレットにはお取りはしますが、
You're inferior.
私のベイビーでよろしければ使ってください。
Okay!
採寸の準備を。
Oh,
してたとこなんですが、勝ちましょう。
fucking love Hatsune. Why are their faces still like that? Ida took it out.
早かったな、二人とも。ちょうど準備が整ったと。普通なんかすぐ治らん。
You know, that's what we were thinking
何
too.
が起きたかは聞いてます。もう一日も無駄にはできません。
We're in a serious moment here.
着への近道を放棄するわけにはいきません。
Yes, Mount Lady.
取ってくれるかな。
He will.
Definitely.
Stop! Okay.
呪いになってねえといいけどな。
Turn into a curse.
Interesting.
あいつはきっとなりてえもんを誰より見つめてきたはずだ。
Well, if Todoroki says it'll be
切り替えていく
okay.
よ。緑谷くん、爆豪くん、轟くんを中心にクラスを3班に分けて展開。
Damn!
UA 高校1年 A 組ヒーロー科大作隊合流。
What are the teams?
その頃
Did Nenjiro get a haircut? She did!
ありがとう。どうかお顔。その分、町に
Where's Mirio?
ヴィランに関する情報が激減。
And tell about the
厳
villains.
しいね。真逆も真逆のお互い万全。正真正銘。全面戦争が始まるっちゅうわけ
The
や。
real all-out war is about to begin. Like a little eye patch.
セントラル病院。
青山少年は現在検査結果を待っています。
ここにいる者は様々な状況証拠や動向から白と判断し話を進めます。
竜子たちは来れないの寂しいにゃん。
メンバーを疑ってるわけじゃないんです。
How much responsibility you'd feel when it was your quirk.
分断です。
Split them up.
信楽戸村の強さはオール・フォー・ワンを優に超えている。
Interesting. Makes sense.
電波を用いた連携に加え、二人の思考の共有がどこまで可能かも不確定。
We don't know how much they
二人
actually
が揃
share
って
it.
出てくるだけで我々は勝てない。名を呼ばれることを避けたんでしょう。オーダーのルールならオール・フォー・ワンと呼べば成立してしまうだろうから。第二次決戦においては最低でも10キロ以上二人を引き
10
離す。
kilometers.
こ
Holy
れが我
shit.
々の勝利に必要な最低前提条件。
Minimum prerequisite.
広
Dobby.
がり焼き尽くす火の恐ろしさ。合宿
It almost doesn't feel right calling him Dobby anymore.
その脅威。
Because it,
ダビが先兵に来るだけで我々の足は止まる。
じゃあオール・フォー・ワンと信楽を引き離すためにまずダビを引き離して。
ダビだけじゃないな。
そう、すべてです。
Is that why we have a bunch of different locations? We're trying to get them all to go to different locations?
各国撃破。そのためには敵をおびき寄せることが条件。
しかし、そりゃ少し能天気すぎやしませんか。できたら苦労はしない。
who are you talking to right now? It's All
こ
Might.
の条件を成立させるために 作戦が必要なのです。
青山か。
Yes.
無個性に生まれ人生を使われた少年。
同情はするが社会を捨てた事実は変わらん。立場上俺は慎重にならざるを得ないな。
私は信じたい青山少年を、そして信じる。
Wow.
その担任
In his homeroom teacher, Aizawa!
検査の結果
Choose to believe in
Whoa.
Aoyama, will believe
Look at
in
this
Aizawa.
guy.
神経系と
Good.
問題ない。
I want to know a lot more about you, sir.
レディー・ナガンを自爆させた個性もオールマイトに倒されてから獲得したものという。考えてみれば裏切り者に対し強制爆破なんて能力を植え付けていたなら、見せしめの殺人、嘘をつけば殺すなどわざわざ余白を残す脅しは必要ない。恐怖という種をこの子に、
Seed of fear.
この子の両親に。ああも言ってくれる友人なんて一生に何人もできないぞ。
今泣いて絶望しているクラスメートを。
何が怖い？オール・フォー・ワンが怖いか？
はい。そして僕は彼らのようにきらめけない。彼らが僕を信じてくれればくれるほど僕自身が僕を信じられなくなってしまいます。オール・フォー・ワンを前にしたらまた
He'd
僕は
break.
同じことをしてしまうかもしれない。
The fear was so powerful.
だが罪は消えない。この戦いが終わってもお前は雄英に残れないかもしれない。あいつらは友達だから優しく言ってくれたが、俺は違う。はっきり言ってやる。植え付けられた恐怖を無理にでも引き剥がす。戦え。戦うしかないんだ。
All you can do now is fight.
勝つための駒にならなきゃ。対等に分かってるんです。でも
確かにそうだ。お前を利用するって点では俺たちとオール・フォー・ワン何も違いはないかもな。だがこのまま降りて罪に苛まれたままうっすら死んでいくことを俺は許さない。俺がヒーローか担任でお前が生徒である限り俺はまだお前を除籍するつもりはない。この先一生負い目を抱える生き方など俺は生徒に教えない。惨めで情けなくても手を差し出してくれた友と歩め。
Ooh,
あいつらといれば
you're with them.
大丈夫だ。お前一人で歩ませるわけがないだろう。お前ら雄英の生徒たち、俺たち教師やプロヒーローもその道は皆が歩む道だ。
The more they believe in me, the harder it is for me to believe in myself. One of the funniest things Deku has ever said in this entire series has got to be Danger Sense didn't activate for me in reference to Hatsumi. I'm so glad Uraraka was not there. That's one deja vu I
Don't need to repeat.
Yeah.
I think seeing support characters come into their own like confidence in where they stand in the battle and their own acceptance with that and doing their best to, that's their hero work. I think I love that so much.
Me too. Hatsumi's one of my favorite characters in the whole series, and I always wish we got more of her after the tournament. Shinzo, we're training. Yes! Scum
This is
family.
Toga's parents
頑張って
Yeah.
ダメだ。
responsible for bringing her into this world.
I love getting to see this.
やめなさい。お前のそれは誰にも受け入れられない。誰も好き
It really gives like a sense of scale and atmosphere to how worldly this is.
我慢しなさい。お前のためを思って言ってるんだ。
Holy shit.
小鳥さんになりたい。チュンチュンぴょんぴょんかわいいの。ニコニコエクボが素敵なの。毎晩夢を見ているの。そのうちおへそをついばみ出して私の中で踊り出す。私も真っ赤に染まっていってとっても可愛くなるの。気持ちいい夢よ。嬉しいな。
てめえのようなイカレ女にも 干渉にふける心があるとはね。
ちょっとお家気になっただけです。普通です。
Seeing him with the white hair is just still something to get used
何
to.
のですか？
しょうもねえ世界を終わらせる覚悟。いいね。誰が泣こうが笑おうが、明日は平等にやってく。それなら笑おうぜ、戸賀卑弥呼。人は
Oh, wow.
来ている。
How do you think that makes Toga feel?
I
使っちゃうよ、そうやくん。優しいんだね。
Wow.
今の体制に俺らを追求できる体力はね。優しいのはエンデバーに苦労して欲しいからさ。
That landing.
心から好意を寄せた者に限り。
God, what a
その
moment.
個性をも使えるようになったてめえの血と。
The ones that you love.
俺が本物から。
Oh, shit!
トゥワイスの違いよ。サッドマンズパレード。哀れな行進を続けさせて。
Oh, no. If we're already at like a differential in terms of numbers, that is the last thing we need to be up against.
the idea in my head right now, the thoughts in my head are just focused on how much Twice would love that after his death, Toga is able to use his blood.
That's fair.
If he could help her survive and be happy. You know, do you think that's why in the opening we have her like that in the window?
Shigaraki.
Daijoubu.
Oh!
Wait, Bakugo is standing on a... In the
What
opening,
the
Bakugo's
fuck?
standing on like what looks like a bunch of fingers.
Yeah. What?
個性終末論を彫刻しつつある。
Quote Doomsday Theory.
なんだよな。俺はただ。
サイは投げられたのだ。
Dies
脱
cast.
獄はともかく、ボートたちは貴様を
The
待って。
rioters are waiting for you.
リ・デストロに代わり、貴様が引き金を引くのだ。
もはや流れは止められない。
君の一歩がみんなの勇気になるんだ。
もう考えるな、予想。
Just do it.
俺はただお前のために。
Just one step.
そうさ、井口くん。誰もが誰かのヒーローになれるんだ。
Anyone can become someone's hero. It's interesting. I hope that Deku's able to throw that back in his face with Shigaraki.
指令が来た。俺たちが好き勝手動けないこともあの方は見越していた。アオーレ、まだ潜在しているであろう反対派の人間を巻き込め、気がもうすぐ迫っていることを隠している。
Stir things up.
いや、イズクが再びその砦にいられなくなるように。
Are these all of All for One's friends he has everywhere?
創作そのものは成果を上げることができなかった。
疲れた。もうヒーローが減ってるとは深刻だよ。
速やかに就寝しよう。俺たちの強みは若さ。みんな、歯磨きは忘れずにな。
Thank you, Ida.
ちょっとくらいワイダンする時間欲しいよな。
ワイダンはいいや。そうだね。
Yeah?
What did Hatsumi do to you last episode?
まだちゃんとお礼を言えてない。
うらら。私が毎日のようにした。
ジャス、元気っすね。
逆にな。
塚内さんに校長まで。
Do we have news?
の件でしょうか。
Did he agree?
第二次決戦の最終プラン。その協議を行う。
今日の大災害をもたらしたヴィラン連合の信楽戸村はあと4日で活動を再開することが。
4 days.
様にはご不便をおかけしてしまうことになりますが、何卒ご了承いただきたく。
Not what you expected, huh? That level of transparency.
バカ正直に黙ってここに守られていればあの方も苦労なさっただろうに。だが図らずとも指令は達成された。これで俺たちの未来は保証される。
Nah, we have a plan. I'm sure of it.
Our futures are guaranteed. The fact that his life would be spared.
Whoa. Harry and Coda.
I love that.
Guy from the first episode.
学校から約 30km 離れた場所にある新たな本拠地である仮設要塞トロイアへと移動した
Troy.
Troy.
対の住処にならねえといいけど
Jesus. Go talk to her. Nice.
おおデク君細かいこと気にするね相変わらず君は
外で何してたの
私さ変なんだよね
変じゃないよ強いし勇敢だし髪型も似合ってるしとても優しいし素敵だし
いや違くてふとさ戸賀卑弥呼が頭をよぎったガンとマキアの進行中に1対1になって私は自分が当たり前だと思うことを言葉にして返したんだとても悲しそうな顔してた街をこんなにしてたくさんの命と幸せを奪ったヴィランだよ
There's that desire to save
許
someone.
す許さないの次元じゃない
Not a matter of forgiving her or not.
けれど私はあの人の当たり前を知らない
Mm.
戸賀卑弥呼のこと何も知らないって考えてしまうおぞましい光景を忘れないように余計なことは考えないように
僕も死柄木の中に小さな少年が泣いているのを見た戦いは避けられなくてもその奥にあるものを無視はしたくない
Man, it feels like it's been forever since the two of them have talked, right? You were both weird.
気使わせちまって悪い大丈夫だ俺も兄がいるからなお前んとこと比べられちゃたまんない東屋兄の好きなもんも知らねえ
絶対うどんだな煮えたぎって
Not cold soba.
一緒に食ってる
Oh,
Wow, putting
Right?
Todoroki with Deku and Uraraka here. I love that. Having some heroes that have a specific, like, connection with one of the main villains in order to want to save them or understand them.
3 days later.
少しでも僕に対する害意を持っていればわかる。
Mm.
個性名は何だった
Oh, it's a quirk.
かつてオールマイトと共に僕を追い詰めてくれた。
Hmm.
しかし、その個性が僕に勝利をもたらす。
Like lie detector?
まいた種が実った時ほど喜ばしいことはない。
16年ものなら息子に持たせますよ
おお、頼むよ。では、息子さんの連絡先をいただこうかな。万全を期したい。
ええもちろん
嘘や害意はない。真っ白。仮に泳がされていたり、後に尋問されることがあっても問題ない。
では明日
ああ、また明日。
Those are his parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we using them as bait? If so, how couldn't the detection of lies be had?
Because they don't know anything, we kept them in the dark. It's true that Aoyama was gonna meet him.
両親の弁護士が釈放してくれた
みんなに伝えるよこれからまた捜索を
待って君と話をしたい
This also feels very real.
笑えるよねどんどん目先の安全を求め争い貧しくなっていく日本は見捨てられる各国自国の安全が最優先だからそんな世の中例えば水が足りない国に飲み水を出せる個性が現れたら電気もガスも力も大敗と混乱の世界へ突入していく中ただ一人圧倒的個人がイニシアチブを取れる土壌が形成されつつある彼は世界の魔王に
The
なる
world's demon lord.
そんなの変だよ世界が許すはずがないよそれにまだ僕たちがいるよ
そうだねだからきっとこれは最後の爪なんだごめんねやっぱり僕は
This has to be part of the plan, right?
We had to make it so it was the
We're
most
baiting.
believable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
来てくれたね、青山優。
Not a lie at all.
恐ろしかったろう、友を裏切るのは。
He's scared because he's scared something could actually happen to Deku here.
よく乗り越えた。パパとママに聞いたのかな？
あなたの世界、僕らに幸福を約束してくれると信じて。
Yeah, there was no direct communication.
心苦しいなんてものじゃ。
Yeah.
恩知らずめ。
演技が迫真すぎるよ。
For real.
仕方ないだろ。相手を引きつけなきゃいけないんだもの。俺に君だって名演だったよ。おびき出すためとはいえ、あんな涙見せられたらつい怖すぎて涙どころか惜しい。
Oh my god.
頑張った。
I mean, I'd be fucking terrified if I was him too.
みんなのためにも自分のためにも
For myself too.
僕はオールフォーワンドだ。
Woo!
連れ出します。いつでも大丈夫です。
直前の連絡にも両親の連絡に愛や嘘はなかった。どうやって？いや、どうでもいい。
Oh, what a cool shot.
We're posted up in every single building right now.
Who are we teleporting?
だからこそ気づかれず、ここまでこの数。
Holy shit.
この状況は
And Shigaraki?
じゃないか。
オールフォーワン。
どうやって動かした？だがこれもかえって手間が。
No! Motive. Oh my god!
Wait, is
What? How? By touching? Kuragiri? Oh.
what the?
Oh my god! Gang Orca was there.
What a bad place to end an episode.
Okay, that was My Hero Academia episodes 3, 4, and 5. A lot happened within those episodes.
Definitely.
We got to see Hagakure's
Not an
face
understatement.
outside of the intro. We got to finally, I guess, reveal who the traitor was. I feel like it was more about the weight of who it was and how it was used rather than like a massive surprise, because I don't know, I felt like
the reason why they were a traitor.
Yeah.
Like, what would have them siding with All For One? I think that was something that was a definite question mark in my head of like, okay, well, I have two options in my head of who the traitor could be out of the students that I've had for a while. And that's cool and all to have like people picked out of who it could be. But that doesn't answer the question of like why they would be able to be ingratiated into this group of students and friends and be willing, basically accomplices to horrifying things happening around them to their friends. Life and death.
Man,
stakes.
I remember like years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, before we started the channel, and like laying down on the floor in like our living room talking to you about My Hero, and we had both watched to like, I don't know, season 4, maybe season 5, and I think it was season 4, maybe it was even at the end of season 2 that we were talking about it. It was a long time ago.
I think
but
it was like the way earlier seasons.
Yeah, but I remember
I watched season 1 like when it came out.
Yeah, but I remember talking with you before, you know, we started the channel about who the traitor could be, and it felt like it was between Hagakure or Aoyama, and I think that the why and the utilization of the fact that he was and the weight that it brought forth was much more impactful to me rather than just like, oh, I had no idea.
It's Aoyama's parents' decision. Adding that idea into this story is so real world understandable.
Yeah.
In terms of what a parent or someone who loves you might do And we've seen it in other storylines, this idea of like, I did this for you. You want to avoid your child getting bullied. You want your child to feel special and have a good life and be happy and be accepted by their peers. And you're so worried that something bad will happen to them. They'll be mistreated. They'll feel alone, that they won't love themselves, that you kind of create this circumstance of which you're hopeful that they will now be spared any of that suffering.
I think it's that, as well as the circumstances of their own upbringing. When you're in a family that you've always been given anything that you wanted, you'd want your child to have the same experience you did. And if there was a no, this isn't going to happen, you would exhaust your resources to try to make that happen.
And in that same environment, how many times did they ever actually probably face consequences for their actions? Aoyama, in the last episode, brings up a freaking great example of that. He's like, my parents' lawyers bailed me out. This idea bringing into the story of like, his parents were so rich that this is their instance of taking this quirk from All for One was probably their first time having actual consequences for their actions and for throwing money at something and trying to make something happen for themselves.
Those consequences, I feel as if, were the harshest they could be.
It's your life and your child's life now.
Upon first having that instance of, yes, we got it for you, and then the realization that everybody around you who's done the same thing and doesn't act accordingly dies, you are going to be in constant fear of not only your own lives, but the life that you tried to improve being taken away.
Right, and it's keeping you in this place where you continuously can't be a good parent, quote unquote, because we have this line when we first get the reveal where at first the parents are apologizing. Dad's like, I never wanted to do it anyway, which was kind of funny to me. And the mom, as she's crying, she says, help us. And I'm like, oh no, the guilting, the keeping your son in this position of being a villain. And just they're in this permanent place of feeling like they can never actually be healthy to their son because they put their son in a position where he will be killed and they will be killed if they don't do the evil thing.
I'm happy story-wise about how premeditated it was. I had assumed at first incorrectly that it was after, it was finding somebody within UA and the class of 1A and then, putting them under distress and manipulating them and using them as a spy. But the idea that All for One was like, yep, we hear that All Might's going to be a teacher there, make sure that you have your son get into UA, I think is really fascinating. I also think it's fascinating with two things. One, I love everything between Aoyama and Deku that we've gotten the last few seasons has so much more weight knowing that Deku was born quirkless as well. But also how in your face Aoyama was almost about it. Remember in season 1 at the USJ, when Aoyama, after everything's done and over with, is and you know what I was doing? It's a secret. I wonder within that coping, if you will, of, okay, I'm the traitor, I'm feeling guilty, if it made it easier for him to deal with, to almost be more subtly in your face, if that makes sense, even though that's a contrast.
He was always the character that I also thought knew Deku's secret. He would say little things, and it always just made me be like, does he know? How, huh?
Yeah, that was Deku's fear, right? Mm-hmm. But then, upon realization of what it actually was, I think it hits deeper with, specifically this last episode 5 that we watched, the idea of their resolution and reunion. And even though that what Aoyama's done will never be forgotten, as Aizawa said in episode 4, it's the step to togetherness that he needs to take right now in order to be a hero.
And he basically said to him, all you can do now is fight. Before we leave the topic, you had brought up how you were glad that this was a seed that was sown way before they had got to UA, and it was like 10 years ago that the quirk was given to Aoyama.
Yeah.
I feel like from what All For One has told us, I imagine many other people in Aoyama's position did the exams to get into UA.
Yeah.
Like, I would imagine that a lot of the other people that tried to get it, like, there were others.
Yeah.
And they just weren't, their quirk, you know, didn't match up with their body. They weren't as strong. They didn't get through the exam, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like him in particular. He just happened to be the pawn that got through the gate.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use him.
So, do you think that Kurogiri or Shirokuma was conscious enough to use his quirk, or do you think what I'm thinking, and it was Monoma using copy to, like...
Why else would we see his face?
Yeah. Monoma's a really interesting character.
I've kept all episode waiting for Shinso. Because we got Shinso at the very end of episode 4.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, is Shinso gonna pop out? You know, is he gonna be in this last
He could have been
image?
the reason. Could you have brainwashed Kurogiri and utilized his quirk that way?
No, that's not what it is.
All
For One wonders at the end why he didn't get any lies or any ill will. It's because we brainwashed Aoyama and his parents.
Yo.
And had them act like normal. They were still thinking that they hadn't had that interaction with Deku.
Probably. I think you're right.
That's what it was.
Shinso's gotta be one of my favorite characters in the series.
I mean,
He's
like,
so fucking cool,
We got
man.
him at the end of episode 4, and then in episode 5, All For One starts off basically the episode being like, there was this boring guy all this time ago when quirks were just like first happening and they were superpowers.
Yeah.
And basically a lie detector guy. Well, I wonder how his family's doing, you know? Of course, like, then we're gonna utilize something similar.
Interesting. Huh.
Awesome.
I am terrified of Toga using twice his quirk.
Right, like we have this picture that's being painted at the very end of the episode of All For One at first being like, I brought all of these friends and there's only 2 of you. And then Deku's like, I also brought a bunch of friends. But then Toga's gonna be like, I have Sad Man's Parade.
Whose quirk is most effective against Sad Man's Parade? You know? Edge shot, maybe.
Edge shot could be good.
Yeah.
I just feel like Gang Orca could beat anyone.
I love Gang Orca. I hope Best Genius comes.
Wait,
too.
Miruko's in this picture!
Yeah, and she has a like massive robot arm.
Wait, I didn't even notice that!
Yeah.
In the shot, I was like, is that a head of another hero that I've never really seen before? No, that's her arm!
Yeah, in the intro, we get a shot, I think, of her like legs too, and like the robotic attachment there.
That makes me so happy, especially because in these 3 episodes, we do get an episode. We obviously go back to Hatsumi and like the support class course, and the fact that like inventing is their hero work. I like that idea that she's able to. I mean, she's a fighter.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that she's jumping in here, even with like prosthetics. It makes so much sense for her character.
I really loved Uraraka's lines this past episode. I don't know what's common sense to her. I think that that's a really fascinating way to approach it. Like, for some reason, that is like, that gets me a little more than even something as like Deku and Shigaraki and looking at the kid inside of Shigaraki, even though I got to witness it in a flashback, right? There's something along like the line of thinking of what's common sense to me, and me saying that elicited such an emotional response to somebody that I would assume is common sense to everybody, that is really appealing. It like shows how early on that branch was made, that abandonment of even trying to teach somebody common sense and stay with somebody, how early on that was stripped away, you know?
I feel like My Hero Academia as a show is a great like course in how you write like heroes and villains with so much gray area of like Endeavor's character. I think he was written amazingly.
Yeah.
In terms of like his arc and his kind of growth and realizations. And I think that having Uraraka, Deku, and Todoroki all shown in episode 5, with the fact that they have, for some reason, different reasons really, a connection to one of the main villains that we, over 7 seasons, have like started to kind of get to know in a, we can see how you got from point A to point B. The circumstances that brought you here, the quirks that you were given, how people treated you from day one with those, and the unfortunate fact that villains often found you and gave you some sort of found family with that.
Yeah.
And I absolutely adore that. I love that they feel like there's so much more going on. I love as a viewer being in a place where I don't want the villains to win, but I also think I will cry my fucking eyes out when if Toga dies.
Yeah. Do you think that Monoma, if he has Shirakumo's quirk, or, you know, do you think that his goal is going to be to try to separate All For One and Shigaraki next episode? Like, we had the emphasis on the 10 kilometers apart, and I'm trying to think of anybody in that last scene who could get them like away from each other quickest, and it feels like it would be Monoma if he had that quirk of Kurogiri.
Right, like we do know that was the plan. Like when we're talking with one of the pussycats, you know, the one that lost Search, which I wrote down like just quickly, like Aoyama is the reason that the villains have Search.
Yeah, and
there was like a really great emphasis on Search in that episode that we learned that Aoyama is the traitor. But I think that was the plan, was we at first were like, okay, Shigaraki and All For One definitely need to separate, but then we brought Dabi onto the board, and then we were like, okay, we need to separate all of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's my current guess. I would agree that like Monoma would probably be used there again.
If so, that's huge. Like,
wouldn't All For One just be able to like
teleport back?
Yeah.
Not if he was being fought against, right?
That's
like,
true.
I mean, we don't have everybody here. Like, Best Jeanist isn't in frame. In my opinion, if Monoma...
the rest of the class of,
could take them elsewhere where there is already a group of heroes ready to fight.
Is this the group of heroes that's gonna fight All For One? And then the other ones are gonna fight, like...
I don't know, because like...
why are they here in this? If we're talking that there might be other locations set up, that's where the rest of the class is, and maybe some other heroes, then this group that's being shown on screen, I would imagine, is staying in this location, if that's what's happening.
I'd agree with you, but who would you teleport away? All For One or Shigaraki? Because who's Deku gonna fight? Do you think Deku's gonna fight Shigaraki or All For One? I would imagine Shigaraki.
Yeah, I know.
And I'd imagine so too, Endeavor would fight Dabi.
The Endeavor would fight Dabi?
Yeah.
Maybe not. I feel like Todoroki kind of...
Todoroki's not here, though.
Well, that's why I'm thinking we're taking Dabi somewhere else. Interesting. We had a line from Todoroki about his goal was to create a body that could withstand Dabi's fire.
Yeah.
And that was in episode 3, I think. And then in episode 5, we bring up him being like, I don't even know what my older brother likes.
That's very
true. I feel like we're going to have
a
more intimate, like the two of them, maybe Endeavor not involved. Like,
I
Dad's
like
not involved. It's brother and brother.
I like that. That would be cool.
But the Deku, like, is he going to fight All For One or Shigaraki? Like, I feel like I want to think both, but then they can't be in the same place.
Yeah. This whole thing's a lot more antsy without Aizawa here.
Mm-hmm.
Like having Erasure on the battlefield is such a pro.
I don't think I thought that it was gonna... I thought there was gonna be a few more episodes
before we're in a fight.
Like an actual fight. And I don't know what that was in me that expected that. It might be like the last thing that I had written down in my notebook was like, oh, they said 4 days from now. Okay. And just me, for some reason, picturing that I was going to have another 4 days, which could be a couple more episodes.
Yeah. I imagine that we're going to get the how we got here at the beginning of next episode,
Oh, like the leading up to more of the planning, more of maybe what happened if we used Shinso.
Monoma.
That's fair. I think I could see that too for another episode.
I'm excited to just get caught up, to be honest with you. Like, I want to be watching this when it comes out, weekly.
Oh, no, I am too. I'm definitely excited. I have a few questions for you. I don't know if you have anything else that you wanted
What were your
to
questions?
talk about. Okay, so the first question is, are you satisfied with never seeing Hagakure again, like her face, ever again after both the intro and like seeing her in the episode?
It felt weird like when I got to see what I've always seen, which was just her outfit for a second at the end of this episode, but I'm okay. I'm definitely okay with it. I think I'd be more okay with it if it wasn't in the intro. It's not that big of a deal, but if that was the one time that we got to see it and it wasn't in the intro, I think I'd be like, oh, like cherry on top, amazing, perfect.
Like, I think that I feel a bunch of things. One of the things I feel is, now it feels kind of weird just to see her floating gloves and no, like, reflective type body, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I almost feel like now I at least just want to see the outline, almost reflection of a body shape.
Aoyama would need to like consistently be using his quirk then,
Yeah. But I couldn't think of an instance where you'd show it again because we already got the reveal. So it's not like any moment where you'd see it again would be meant for impact when we've already gotten a reveal. So why would they do it again where another attack like Aoyama's laser?
What was Aoyama's reaction to Hagakure? Was there any?
I thought it just made him really sad because what she was saying at the time that she jumped in.
Okay, I'm pulling it up just because here's the big thing. Was it for us or was it in universe?
I think it was in universe.
You think? Let's see now. We could have all died. You start seeing the outline. You see the hair. All of Japan is in trouble. Deku looks a bit shocked, but also because of action going down. What were you thinking when you were in class? We get to see her.
I think that's why he screams, is because, like, having to confront her actual face when she says that line.
Yeah. But, like, because if that's the case, then it could be, if it's in universe and that was what Aoyama was seeing as well, it could be like, oh, end of the day, Hagakure gets to take part in like the beauty contest at the next festival, team up with Aoyama, and then everybody can see her face.
That'd be cute. I think that I would want to see it again in universe, but I would also be kind of.
I'd only want to see it again in universe if
it.
everybody else got to see it.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
So that was one of my questions, and then I just had a fun question because we're on season 7.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any characters that have grown on you? Like they maybe in the original seasons, you were like, meh, yeah.
Interesting. Monoma is definitely one of them. I think like after last season or 2 seasons ago, it was like I loved him as a character. Getting to see him in action and like the stopwatch and everything, that was really cool. Sero consistently is one of my favorite characters in this series.
Okay, yeah, Sero was definitely one of those characters that at the beginning I was like, tape guy.
I was like Spider-Man, yeah. But I love him much.
His personality. Okay, my character that has like went from like, yeah, like I kind of like the design. Some of it, I don't know how I feel about it. Like the initial response of getting in the show. I mean, like season 1, like first watching to now. Mina.
Yeah.
Like
Mina's
I
sick.
love Mina now. And I think Kirishima helped with that a lot.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh my god, I love her design, I love her personality. I want more Mina.
I liked Mina in the Red Riot flashbacks. Like what? Now they're all breakdancing together? Like it was awesome. One of the last things I have to say is I am obsessed with the spinner part of My Hero Academia right now. And like just it's been obvious from his first entrance of his resemblance in terms of outfit to Stain, but I think
Stain is one of the best.
He's narratively in such an interesting, fascinating spot because he's not within that same category that we have spoken about in reference to Toya, to Toga and to Shigaraki in terms of saving them, seeing that inner self, you know, because he doesn't have that type of interaction with the protagonist right now or any of the heroes. But he also has a sense of doubt that the others don't, and reluctancy that we're having inner monologue from him about him deciding this episode, like, okay, let's just do it.
He said it perfectly himself. He is a normal citizen that just happens to be here.
Yeah.
And just one step forward is kind of solidifying like his place. And at the moment, like, he has a awareness of the world and stakes of it and society in a way that the other villains do not, and maybe even a care for it. It's just that at the end of the day, he's like, I'm already here. There are people that are suffering that are like me. I am now put in a position where I am a voice for them.
I have a question.
And I also care about Shigaraki.
If Toga used Twice's blood to use Twice's quirk, and Stain consumed either a bit of Twice's blood or Toga's blood, would all of the Twice copies be frozen? You know?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's
so
an interesting
we'll see it next
what if
episode.
To me. No, I don't think Stain's going to come back into the story for a while, if he does at all.
The mantle has somewhat been passed to Spinner in terms of that.
Well, I meant in terms of like All Might and Stain, like being like, you come kill me, you kill the hero killer, you capture the hero killer. All right, that's all I have you.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.